Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. Cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức Y Khoa, Gia đình và Xã hội. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Dr. Lynn Williams and Dr. Bess Taylor của trường East Tennessee State University. Tháng 5 là một tháng rất là đặc biệt cho Julie, đó là Better Hearing Speech Month, cũng là May Asian Heritage Month, and also May Mental Health Month. It's such a busy month for us. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Williams and Dr. Taylor, for coming to the show today. I'm trying to juggle between both languages, but I really appreciate both of you for coming on to the show. Before the commercial break, we had an opportunity to learn about your professional careers and what it is that you do in the community. In this segment, I want to learn more about the organizations that you're both affiliated with. If I can ask you, Dr. Williams, about ASHA. For those of in our audience who don't know what ASHA is, it's American Speech, Hearing, and Language Association. Can you tell us about your affiliations there?
Yes. So as you said, ASHA is the National Professional, Scientific, and Credentialing Association for our membership. And Julie, right now, we are over 218,000 members in ASHA. So it makes us, I think, the third largest association in the country. And I'm not just talking about professional associations, trade associations as well. So we're very large. And it includes individuals who are audiologists, speech language pathologists, speech language and hearing scientists, and support personnel, so speech language pathology assistants or audiology assistants, as well as students who are part of the National Speech Language Hearing Association.
Wow, that's very impressive. You have a big job and a very important job to oversee all of us. And Bess, can you tell us about the university that you're affiliated with? You're both affiliated with.
Thank you. East Tennessee State University is located, you can see this lovely scenery behind me. This is actually where we are, up in the northeast corner of Tennessee. Our enrollment here is about 14,500 students, and we are a part of the Academic Health Sciences Center at this institution. This includes colleges of medicine, pharmacy, nursing, public health, and clinical and rehabilitation health sciences, which is where we are situated.
Yes. I know that what both of you have mentioned that, both the affiliation. I know ASHA is an organization that I've been a part of for over 20 years. And, being a student and in the 90s, I've seen so much improvement and so many changes throughout the years. So I commend both of you for all the work that you do in our career and then in our community to amplify, our voices and help everybody to communicate better. And I appreciate both of you for that. Julie cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức Y Khoa, Gia đình và Xã hội. Hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Dr. Williams, với Dr. Taylor. Dr. Williams chia sẻ với chúng tôi là Dr. Williams là người president của ASHA, đó là American Speech, Hearing and Language Association. Cái đó là cái organization là chỉ nói là third largest, là lớn nhất. Cũng có hơn 218.000 người. Với Dr. Taylor là Bess, là giáo viên, là chair của Department của Communication. Trong cái đó là cũng có mấy ngàn người, mấy ngàn học sinh. Mà trong chương trình đây là cũng có giúp được nhiều học sinh để cho vô nghề, để được các cái training để cho thành âm ngữ trị liệu giống như Julie. I thank you both again for all that you do for our field and our profession, and also for training students in the field. Now, Bess, I know right now that during COVID, things have changed a lot for our students. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
When last March, when the pandemic first hit and everything across the country and across the world started shutting down, our department was able to pivot rather quickly and change to implement telehealth and telemedicine so that our students could continue with their practicum experiences using the technology. We also were able to have our students participate in some simulation through which they were able to gain some clinical experiences as well. As we have been able to start back in a very careful way with some face-to-face interactions, there certainly have been layers and layers of personal protective equipment, gloves and masks and shields and goggles and all those kinds of things. But our discipline is one, of human contact in a significant way. So we have adapted well, and our students have been able to stay on track, and we had a cohort graduate just this weekend. But we were able to demonstrate a lot of flexibility so that their educational experiences would not be interrupted.
Well, thank you again for making sure that our students stay on track and also graduate in the meantime, or on time. Thưa quý vị, Dr. Bess nói đó là trong chương trình của dạy cho speech therapy là rất nhiều học sinh học chương trình đây mà trong một Covid phải chuyển qua cho teletherapy, đó là làm therapy là chương trình để cho giúp học sinh về lên mạng qua Zoom. Trong cái chương trình đây là rất là quan trọng cho rất nhiều học sinh của mình. Nhiều học sinh cũng được vẫn tiếp tục học để cho ra trường đúng giờ lúc. Thì đó là cái mà mình thấy đó là cái chương trình, cái department là có nhiều cái flexibility, là mình phải thay đổi nhiều để cho mình được giúp được mấy học sinh. Again, Dr. Bess, I appreciate you for having that flexibility and being able to help so many students in the process. And I know that a lot of students during COVID were so nervous, and they were reaching out to me as a clinicians, also to make sure that they graduate on time. But I appreciate, the flexibility, and I think the leadership that you both exhibit during COVID to make sure that we have a smooth transition and continue to serve the community. Now I know, Lynn, you at the national level or even at an administrative level, can you share with us what you're able to do briefly about during COVID time to help our community?
One of the things that ASHA did in response to this was related to telesupervision. So we knew that we had to change our service delivery model from being in person to being remote. But ASHA had not embraced telesupervision. And so one of the things that we had several calls and conversations with the Council for Clinical Certification, the CFCC, which is a semi-autonomous body to ASHA, and talk to them about what the evidence is that telesupervision is the same as being there. So they were able to open that up and say that we could count those hours, which was critical. And one thing I want to say about this pandemic, and we talk about having to be remote, and I've been an advocate for saying that we are physical distancing and not social distancing. And this actually came from the World Health Organization, yes, because we needed that social connection probably more than ever. It's just physically we couldn't be close to each other. So we maintained our social connection to our clients, our patients, our students, but in a different venue and doing it remotely.
Thank you, Lynn, for reminding us that such a very important message, again, is focusing on physical distancing, not social distancing. Cảm ơn quý vị đã theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội. Sau vòng quảng cáo, Julie sẽ nói tiếp thêm với Dr. Lynn Williams and Dr. Bess Sermon Taylor. Hôm nay chúng tôi nói về May, đó là Better Speech, Better Hearing and Speech Month. Cảm ơn quý vị.